Hello and welcome. I am so pleased that you are here, and I am excited to talk today about retirement boredom busters. Hi, I'm Dr. Vanessa Boyce. I am the founder of Mindful Next Chapters, where we strive to provide you with information and resources to ensure that your golden years are in fact golden. Not only that, we provide information, resources to help you prepare for your final chapter, ensuring that your physical needs are met and that this is a time of reconciliation, peacefulness, and a celebration of a life well lived. We at Mindful Chapters also are quite aware that caregivers in our society are underappreciated and underserved, and we are trying hard to rectify that. If any of this information is something you are interested in, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so that you can be the first to know as we produce new videos. So let's jump into today's video. Today's video is all about beating retirement boredom. We're going to learn about what boredom is and the effects it can have on our mental and physical well-being. We'll talk about the association between clutter and boredom. And of course, we're going to talk about the 5 boredom beaters. And I have a bonus at the end. And this bonus is all about giving you the tips and cautions that you need to ensure that you don't fall down common traps that I see people fall into as they are trying to treat or prevent their boredom. So let's dive right in, okay? So what is boredom? We all know it. We recognize it when we feel it. And we've been experiencing this for a very long, long time, ever since we were children. But did you know that this isn't just an uncomfortable feeling? This is actually your body and mind informing you and alarming you that there's something wrong that you need to address, because boredom affects your mental and physical well-being. This is similar to what happens when you have chest pain, which alerts you to you may have a heart problem that you need to address. So, boredom is that sense of weariness or tiredness when we are unengaged, or when we are engaged in things that are tedious, that don't give us meaning and purpose, or that are not challenging to us. It can also mean that if we are engaging in an activity for somebody else that has this tedium and boredom, but we feel committed to their cause, we can also develop boredom if we are not appreciated. So let's talk about the effect that boredom has on your body and your health. Boredom produces apathy, depression, anxiety, negative thought processes, and impulsivity. Did you know that a high boredom score has been linked with cognitive decline, which is the precursor for Alzheimer's dementia? We know that those feelings of negative thought patterns and emotions are directly related to the increase in cognitive decline. This is a process that is occurring on one half of our brain. The other half of our brain, though, creates the opposing structure or input, and that is creativity. Our body, our mind, has a set point, and that set point has to do with the balance between negative thoughts and creativity. The lower that set point is, the more risk you have for cognitive decline and Alzheimer's. Did you know that a high boredom score also has been linked with premature cardiovascular death? Wow, right? The way this works is that depression and anxiety creates an increase in stress hormones. And we know that those stress hormones have a deteriorating effect on our cardiovascular system. So, before you think that boredom is just something you suffer from, remember that it has serious consequences for your health and well-being. So let's talk about clutter and the relationship between boredom and clutter. Clutter has been proven to decrease your ability to focus. It also has been linked to an increase in negative thought patterns, and we all know how lack of focus and negative thought processes can affect us. Not only that, decluttering can often provide you with finding a space where you can actually engage in the activities that you're going to do to beat your boredom. Also, decluttering often results in you finding something that reminds you of a thing that you always wanted to do, or an interest you had, but were never able to explore it because of your work schedule. And that might be the first jumping off point for you in terms of preventing your boredom. So let's jump into those 5 boredom busters. Boredom buster number 1 is learning. Our minds are always craving new information and new stimulation, and this can be provided by learning something new. I recommend that as you're looking at how to approach beating boredom, you look into a diversity. That diversity should include something that's fun, something that's practical, and something that's intellectual. So the fun you got. I know you understand what is fun for you and what is not fun for you. But always try to identify something that you can learn that is fun. It might be as simple as a new board game or a new card game, but use your imagination. I also recommend that you learn practical things, things that you can use in your everyday life. It may be something like personal finance, or learning new cooking skills, or maybe learning about household maintenance. Whatever it is, the learning will stimulate your mind and prevent boredom. But not only that, it will give you life skills that can make your days go more smoothly and thus improve your quality of life based on the knowledge that you've gained. Of course, most of us think about learning in terms of intellectual learning, and that is very valuable also. Open up any college course catalog and you are going to see a plethora of opportunities in history, science, math, philosophy, literature. There are so many things to learn. Did you know as a senior that most community colleges will welcome you tuition-free to enlist in a course and take it in audit mode? Audit mode means you don't have to take the exam or do the homework, but you also don't get the credit. But you do get the advantage of the learning you get from the courses. I often find that my seniors that take college courses in audit mode find that they are intriguing to the other students in the room, and thus they make connections and friendships, which is an added benefit for us too. The next boredom buster is teaching. We all have skills and knowledge that others don't have that we can share. This sharing contributes to society and also provides increased connectedness to others, which provides us with additional benefits. Some of us feel that we would rather be the implementation of a course rather than the development of a course. If this is the philosophy you have, I would encourage you to tap into already established teaching methods and opportunities, such as tutoring children, maybe in an after-school care environment. You could consider coaching somebody through a GED experience or an English as a second language. And also, don't forget, there are many, many opportunities to teach adult literacy. If, however, you are somebody that has a particular skill set or knowledge that isn't traditionally provided in our society, then you're going to be creating a lesson and then implementing that. And the best way to know how or what you do is think about what you're passionate about, what you know a lot about, and what you have a lot of experience in. This is the area that you will be most successful in your teaching endeavors. Reaching out to community centers, senior centers, after-school care, youth clubs, these are the areas that need what you have to offer. So consider what it is you want to teach and reach out to the appropriate people so that you can reach your appropriate audience. Our third boredom buster is fitness. Many of you have an already well-established fitness routine, and that's great. That fitness routine provides you with muscle memory. Muscle memory is when our mind and our body work automatically without a lot of thought, doing a certain activity in a manner that is efficient, successful, and without injury. But if we don't engage in other physical activities or fitness activities, we miss out on other opportunities for muscle memory. This means that we might find that we are able to do something that is normally challenging to us, but we can do it successfully because of the muscle memory that we've developed. It also means that we can engage in those activities with less chance of injury. Think about things that would challenge you in ways you haven't already been challenged. Some examples might be tennis or pickleball. Maybe it's Zumba or line dancing. Maybe it's a spinning class. It might be yoga, Tai Chi, or Pilates. All of these are going to have benefit to you in terms of building up your muscle memory. And if you choose the activity that you like, it'll also be fun. There's some bonus points, though, depending on what you choose for your activity. Tai Chi and yoga can increase your peacefulness, decrease anxiety, and increase your connectedness to yourself and to others. A group class creates community and allows you to develop relationships within that community. Another really positive exercise process would be walking in nature. We know that walking in nature creates a wandering of our mind that actually increases our creativity. So we get a double bonus walking in nature, not just the exercise, but also the creativity. Most community centers and senior centers, as well as gym and fitness centers, have all of these types of opportunities there for you, and they're geared specifically for seniors, and they have expert trainers that'll prevent you from getting injured. If you don't have access to those things, then you can always tap into social media, YouTube, fitness online. But just ensure that these are geared towards seniors and they're at your level so that you don't get injured. Don't forget Silver Sneakers. They are the pioneers for senior fitness. They are a national organization that has local chapters. This is a great resource for you, and I find that most people also make connections with other seniors and develop increased friendships in that organization. The next retirement boredom beater is creativity. Remember, we talked about the importance of increasing our creative side of our mind to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. So this is the point where we find out what we are interested in creating, right? Maybe it's writing the novel you always wanted to, or the short story. Maybe it's something like knitting or photography, woodworking, anything that you create. This can be a tangible creativity, or it could be something more like creating something that then produces what is being brought into society. If you're not sure, look into community centers and senior centers who often have a lot of people teaching creative skills. And of course, don't forget, there's always YouTube or other social media influencers who are willing to teach what they know about creativity. The last Boredom Buster we're going to talk about is joining or forming a group or a club. We all know and are familiar with book clubs, maybe movie clubs, but we can expand this to anything that we have interest in that others might have interest in. The way this boosts creativity is in the interactions with the other people who might have different perspectives or insights that you didn't have, and thus can stimulate your intellectual learning. It also has the added bonus of increasing your connectedness to others. So don't be shy about joining or actually initiating your own club. Did you know that there are national clubs that you can join that have very specific objectives, and oftentimes they're specific for seniors? One such club is the Senior Corps. Remember the Peace Corps that you always wanted to do, but life got in the way and you didn't have the time to go away and do all that hard lifting that was going to be required of you? Well, I'm happy to tell you that likely in your local area you can join the Senior Corps. And in this setting, you're doing things that are still meaningful and contributing to society and individuals, but they're things you can do, and they are things that are not going to require you to travel. Did you know that there was a Senior Olympics? It is called the National Senior Games. If you have a fitness activity or a sport that you have excelled at, you might want to tap into this. It's a great way of meeting people, traveling, and competing. The Audubon Society and Toastmasters often have local groups that you can meet up with and enjoy the activities that they have planned. And don't forget to keep your eyes out for the opportunity to join a senior meetup group. Some of these are meant just to interact socially, get to know each other better, and some of them revolve around a specific activity. These can be a great local resource as well. And now here we are at the bonus. This is the area where we talk about the tips and cautions to prevent you from falling into those traps that I have seen so many fall into. We'll start with the tips. The first tip I have for you is that whatever it is that you are exploring to prevent your boredom, it needs to be something that you are passionate about, something that gives you deep meaning, and something also that aligns with your personal values. If you engage in activities that don't meet those criteria, chances are you'll still wind up being bored. The second tip I have for you is have courage to engage in new activities with new people. I know that can be very, very intimidating, but I promise you, the work you put into that is going to give you lifelong benefits. The third tip I have for you is approach whatever the new activity you are doing with curiosity and kindness. Curiosity opens our mind to new concepts, and it improves our set point mind. So curiosity is one of the major things that can help you be successful in your new endeavor. The second thing is kindness. Oftentimes we're going to be engaging with people who are not like us. They might irritate us even a little bit, but that's okay, because that kindness that you cultivate for others is going to lead to your deepened connections with others. And don't forget to be kind to yourself, right? You are being courageous, you are being brave, and you're putting yourself out there in potentially an uncomfortable situation. Give yourself grace and kindness, and you'll be successful, I'm sure. I also want to talk to you about a phenomenon I call busy but bored, or bored busy. Either way, you know what I mean. So this is a trap that happens when in retirement, out of our boredom, we just jump into every single opportunity that's out there, hoping that this will prevent us from being bored. If this doesn't align with your values, your meaning, your purpose, these things are not going to prevent you from being bored. You'll be engaging in a lot of activities and still be bored. The second caution I have regarding busy but bored is look at all of the activities that you are doing. Make that determination. Is this really for you? You might have just been doing this activity in order to not be bored, or you might have joined it with a friend because it's their passion, but it isn't yours. The other thing you might want to look at if you're busy bored is, are your activities lopsided? Remember, we talked about having fun, learning something meaningful, and learning something intellectual. It's quite possible that you might have a lopsided group of activities that you're doing that doesn't stimulate the other parts of your mind. So making a balanced approach can keep you from being busy bored. Oftentimes I find people volunteering for very worthy causes. But if those causes aren't consistent with your values or your passion, then probably you're not a good fit for them. And you can find another volunteer opportunity that does serve your values and your meaning and your purpose. The next caution I want to talk about is avoiding excessive indulgences. We've all had that time where we think, oh, we're bored, I'm just going to hop on and do a computer or video game. And before we know it, 2 hours have gone by and we're still bored. If you are prone to this, I would suggest that you set a timer so that when that timer goes off, you turn down the video game and you move on to other parts of your life. This will prevent you from losing time at something that truly isn't something that feeds you. The next caution I would have is TV watching. There's nothing wrong with watching a good program on TV or catching up with the news on the TV. The caution I would have is that by watching the same genre of TV show or watching the same thing over and over again can create boredom, or it can create you learning only one idea or concept. This can be beaten by watching shows that are outside of the genre you usually watch, and watching news feeds that aren't your normal news feeds so that you can hear alternative viewpoints. Also, watch out for excessive social media engagement. Social media has an algorithm that gets to know you, and it will feed you exactly what it knows you want. It might be knowing that your perspective or opinion is right. And therefore, you will only get the information that supports that. They will not give you information that challenges whether that thought process is right or not. So be aware of that. Social media also often sends you the things that soothe and calm you, maybe falsely. Maybe you are very worried about something, climate change, what social justice, whatever it is. Well, social media knows that that anxiety can cause you distress, and it will send you calming messages that maybe the social unrest isn't all that bad, or that maybe climate change isn't that bad. So beware of what you're receiving in social media, and make sure you're clicking on things that are the opposite of what you might want or believe. This way you get a well-balanced presentation so that you are not stuck in a rut. All right, we're on to the last caution. Once again, thank you for being here. And if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. The last caution I have for you is don't overindulge in reminiscing. Looking backwards can prevent you from looking forward and creating a future life. We all are prone to reminiscing. It is a way for us to process what we've experienced in life. But if we only process it without examining it and redefining it and creating our new futures from it, then it becomes a waste of time and leads to boredom. A great way of transforming this, if you are struggling with continuous reminiscing, is to create a legacy item such as a journal, a video, these kinds of things that make it so your reminiscing actually produces a future. It produces a future generation that has the wisdom and is familiar with the experiences that you had, thus learning from your history. Okay, that's it. We're at the end of the video. Thank you so much. And don't forget to look down in the resource pages where I connect you with some of those national organizations that I've mentioned throughout this video. Again, thank you for being here, and God bless.